the 9th pick in the 2018 NBA Draft, the New York Knicks select Kevin Knox from the University of Kentucky.
New Knick Knox, Kevin Knox, drafted by the New York Knicks.
I think he just got a new
with
nickname.
9th overall pick. New Knick
New
Knox.
Knick Knox.
How long can that be?
I don't
Until
know.
next year?
That's
too
catchy.
long of a
New Knick Knox.
I'll leave the nicknames to you two, T
Deal.
and Pete and Steph.
I think
Are
we
you
got
doing
some
it?
cooking.
We'll do that next.
Knox. I like it.
I got you, man.
All right.
Anyway, so guys, we did draft Kevin Knox out of Kentucky. Kid's got a dope frame to him, some nice statistics.
That's right.
Cool little age thing going.
Whoa.
Those are some positives.
Who are we talking about here?
Those are some
Nice
positives.
frame, nice age. I'm feeling.
He's 18 years old. Going to be 19
He was
by the
on
start of
Tinder.
the
He set
season.
his age range low.
What's that?
The site we all met each other on to start this show. You got it.
All right, back to it. So, a couple positives about Kevin Knox. Me personally, I like his age. He is, again, 18 years old, going on 19 to start the season. That's two 19-year-olds in our starting five for the foreseeable future, hopefully the starting five. Right off the bat, there's no other small forward on our roster that's likely going to start, according to Coach Fizdale. So he could be thrown into the fire right away. I love his aggressiveness on offense. He can shoot from outside. He's got a nice little floater to him. I think once he builds up the body, then he can probably create more contact and create more of a shot inside the post. So that's my positive. Let's go around the horn.
Cool. Well, since you started it off, I really like his age. Just kidding. I like his versatility. I like the fact that we could probably put him at 1 through 4. And the interesting thing about it is, whoa, listen, guys. The interesting thing about it, there are a lot. Listen, the tape doesn't do him justice in Kentucky. He is going to be a multi-dimensional point forward for us. Fizdale spoke about that a little bit. Knox and his father. I watched a little mini-series prior to the draft about Knox, and that's something that I really fell in love with about him.
What's up, guys? It's Kevin Knox here. We're here at my pro day, getting ready for the big day. 2 weeks out from the draft. I'm really excited. I'm ready. Yeah, I'm here with my pops too.
Big day.
He was underutilized in Kentucky. He has, I wouldn't say superior, but he has prior experience playing pick and roll, high pick and roll. So I trust him as a facilitator on the next level. And how's this for a fun fact for you guys? He was a quarterback in high school until he got too tall. So I think there's some, facilitating there. Mentally, he can handle. He can see the floor. He's 6'9". He should be a nice quality point forward for us, and his versatility is amazing.
When you say point forward, you're not going first year point forward? Or just like throughout his career, he's eventually going to develop into that?
I think eventually, but the beauty of it is, I was reading an article, how
beautiful.
he could solve our point guard issues, because Frank, as we know, isn't a prototypical point guard, and neither is, let's say, Moutier or Trey Burke. Knox can help alleviate some of that pressure. I don't know if next year, right away, he'll be a point forward, but that's where I see the trajectory going.
But these are his positives we're talking about, right?
Yes. Yeah. His versatility.
Me, I'm gonna have to disagree with that statement about the ball handling. I mean, he has a lot of problems with ball handling that I've been seeing. The thing that I'm really excited about Kevin Knox is the fact that he's a catch and shoot ball player, and he's a player that can get into the paint and do floaters and runners.
Yo, his floaters and runners are
his
serious.
floaters and runners are very
Yeah.
good. Although it lacks some sort of aggression there, he can be a little more aggressive, but that does come with age. I'm happy that we can, finally bring in a small forward who has that 6'8" to 6'10" sort of height and stature that can be a catch and shoot ball player and that can work around picks. He can work around the system, get into the paint. Hopefully, get a lot of defenders into foul trouble. So I'm excited on his, like Far said, his age, because it's only skill development. And even during Kentucky, the first year, it really took him. In the beginning, his shooting percentage was really low, but towards the end of the season, John Clifford really made him develop his skills and so on, and so he became a much better shooter.
Coach Cal, baby.
Yeah, developing the Kentucky players. So, yeah, I'm excited for his offensive game more than his defensive for sure. Pete?
Yeah, what I like about this guy right off the bat is I think he has the potential to be a above the rim star on the Knicks, something we haven't had in a long time. He definitely has the body, I think, to develop into an elite perimeter defender, something like a Paul George or some more athletic sort of wing defenders. He definitely has that. I know in high school he was sort of got by on his athleticism. In college he developed his skill set. So I think he's a hard worker. As far as his pick and roll, his work off curls and just action shots, sort of catch and shoot, definitely can stretch the floor for us from that position. As far as creating his own shots, I mean, that's something we'll get into in the negatives. But
you kick off the negatives, man. You've been dying to talk about them.
But before you start getting into the negatives, one really interesting thing, another fun fact, is that he started playing ball full time at age 15. So
That's recent.
That's 3 years ago. He started playing ball full time, and the fact that his high school stats were ridiculous, of course, but he was basically getting off, like he said, on athleticism. The fact that he was able to develop a shot and play D1 ball and be like a
the mentality of him is also insane. That I'll let you get to the negatives, but interview after interview, this kid already knows how to handle himself, and then just the demeanor he comes in by getting booed insanely and just having that same confidence that we saw KP having. That's gonna go along.
Before we get into negatives, really quick, I just want to tag in on that. From every scout and everybody who's done like an interview on Kevin Knox, they have said one thing about his maturity. For an 18-year-old, he's well beyond his years, and I think that was clear
Similar to what
in his
scouts were saying
post-conference.
about Frank. So.
Yeah.
We asked you the other day, does it seem like an 18-year-old? And he seems very poised and very...
He's super mature, man. He's very comfortable with himself, very comfortable with his game. He knows his game. He really understands, at a young age, how to get to spots and find his shot. And you see, we put him in a lot of different situations. He was rolling on pick and rolls. He was handling in pick and rolls. So we're gonna mix it up with him and try to utilize every bit of his skill set.
That's two very mature young players. Right? Yep.
So he's got a lot of positives going for him as far as playing the small forward position, which I think is a more natural position for him right now with his current skill set. Some of the negatives that I see that we want to get into is actually his lack of physicality on the defensive end. He really doesn't rebound as well as he could, considering that in high school he was averaging over 10 rebounds, and now in college that was cut pretty much in half. Yeah. A lot of that has to do with a lot of the scoring workload he was given in college that he wouldn't really have in the NBA game. He was the primary three-point shooter at Kentucky, which means he was out in the perimeter, so wasn't in position to rebound. But that's my concern right now is his physicality.
Quick follow-up there. Do you think he'll be with KP out, do you think that he's going to be a primary scorer, or do you think THJ is going to take over primary three-point duties? How's that going to play
out? With KP out, THJ, I still think as a matter of seniority will probably be the first offensive
as a matter
option.
Of the top chucker on the team.
Right.
Chucker.
But with Kevin Knox's current skill set, I think he's going to come in and be a wing player and get a lot of action off picks and curls. I don't think he's quite ready right now to be creating his own shot or even being a point yet, but I see that in his future potentially. Right. Just right now, I think that's how he's going to be utilized, just to see sort of how he fits in within the offense, and if he can create offset plays, I think then he'll advance further into that. But yeah, my negatives really surround his physicality, and sometimes his lack of offense. He doesn't take care of the ball. We'll get into his turnover rate a little bit later. Some of that like confidence and aggression that probably will come with age. He's 18.
Those are great weaknesses to have. Yeah. Your body, your frame hasn't filled out just yet. He's 18. That's
it's
a great
all
weakness.
Fixable. So that's a good thing. Yeah.
I was going to say, the thing is, at Kentucky, he really was the go-to scorer for them, averaging 15, the highest on Kentucky. But the Kentucky team was still with a lot of big fours that could finish and that could really, put the ball in the hole. It wasn't really a lot of transition offense. It was set plays. For Kevin Knox, they had to kind of design plays. He wasn't able to create his own shot as much as we would like that to happen. But maybe that's because he was the go-to scorer. Maybe on the Knicks when we have, KP, you got THJ, other offensive threats. He will have a straight line to the basket, hopefully. But the fact that he wasn't playing with people who are playmakers, I just wonder how that's going to work with our up-and-coming point guards, and if they can kind of get together and kind of,
pull more out of him.
Pull more out of him. Exactly. I'm a big defensive guy, and that's one of the reasons why I always stuck with Frank last year.
You did, my guy.
I did. I'm still sticking with him, but I think the one negative goes along lines of that physicality and defense. I haven't seen a motor on this kid on defense.
There you go.
And that's what worries me. He gets beat off the dribble frequently, and that's problematic. Unless he's up against a guy
he
who's
gets
a little
caught up
slower.
against screens.
He gets caught up in screens. Yeah. Again, it's just that motor, that hunger to want to play defense and the pride. Right. Again, all fixable, I think. Right, when he's in front of the Garden crowd and Spike Lee's yelling at him, I think he might have a motor there.
Yeah. And he's only 18, man. His body needs to develop. His hip flexors, his strength and conditioning coaches on the Knicks, they can probably pull that out.
You're right. He's at 6'8", 6'9" size, sort of that Iguodala size. His low post defense is really bad, and someone like Iguodala is known for his low post defense. You'll get a lot of switches down there on players that size, so you got to be able to at least keep the guy at bay and give the help defense time to arrive. Right now, he kind of lets guys go by the basket, but again, in a team, in a sort of NBA team where he's expected to play in a number of years, and you can kind of work on these team defenses and offenses, I'm hopeful that all that will sort of come into its own.
I agree with you guys. For the mere fact, I mean, since I'm going last year, I kind of going to tag in on what your guys' points. But, you know, all of these issues that we've heard are easily correctable over time and experience and stuff. Yeah. And one thing I do have tremendous faith in, I think Coach Fizdale at this point, is going to put him in great positions to be successful on this team. And something I wanted to touch on motor was the fact that somebody who you were really high on in the draft, which is Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, a lot of the times late in game, he would defer to him. And that's not necessarily what you want to see out of your star player in college. Shai Gilgeous took a lot of the onus to score late in games, especially late in the season in the tournament. So that motor there, I need to see more. I know you touched on defensively, but offensively as well. His handle. I just want to touch on this because I don't want my point to get misconstrued and contradicting, but I did say that he could be a point forward later in the future. That does not mean his handle is above par.
At some point forward.
Right. Yeah. His handle right now is subpar, and I think he has a huge deficiency with his left hand.
Yes,
there were plays that I've watched him go by defenders with his left hand and then go up with the right on the left side.
That's gonna get exposed game one.
Absolutely. In the NBA, that's not gonna fly.
That forced his bad decision making was because of the lack of handles. Because he would have to dribble 1-2 dribbles, and he would kind of he's the go-to scorer, so he'd have to chuck it up. So I think with improving the handles, he can be way more versatile.
That's the thing. When you have trouble sort of going downhill, and if you're a spot shooter, that aggressive D sort of limits your ability. You know, it limits your ability to drive even further. If you're not a skilled driver, then good D means you cannot do it at all. And that's what those pressure situations end up forcing you to make bad decisions, bad passes, which is a lot of his turnovers are that sort of pressure situations, not being composed and not having that off the dribble skill to get himself in a better position. He does miss the sort of spot shooters sometimes on the drive, you know, the spot up shooters on the three. But again, I think a good coach can get him into that mentality, and developing his handles goes a long way into having him not think about the handle, but just think about actually not running the offense.
Right, let's think about it. I mean, Coach Cal is not there to really develop the players. He knew they were one and dones. So he wanted to put them in the best positions to succeed. That's why majority of the time he took the ball out of Kevin Knox's hands and ran set plays for him. Catch and shoot, which is also why I think that he was underutilized in Kentucky. Yeah. He could do more, and his tape will show that.
Yeah, and I'm just happy that the Knicks drafted a basketball player, you know, like that out of Kentucky. You know, that we for the first time in a very long time just drafted something that could be very, very, very positive.
Potential's there.
And someone that we can put on LeBron James and another forward. Who do we have? That's exactly what
Fizdale said that.
About. Yeah. Like, we had trouble with Courtney Lee and THJ. They were too small. And then we had trouble with KP. He'd be out like on Kevin Love, and Kevin Love would just whiz by him. And we have that perfect 6'9", 250-pound dude who, with enough work and with enough age, I think he could really stop perimeter defense, because we've seen glimpses of him stopping point guards, stopping shooting guards, stopping big dudes. So it's like he's long.
The talent's there. He can.
9-foot reach, bro. That's a foot below the rim.
He has a 7-foot standing reach. Which is I believe qualifies as average of most centers in this draft. That's pretty incredible.
What's important about length defensively is not just staying in front of the guy and being able to, get in the passing lanes or tap out the balls, But what really matters is if you get beat by a smaller guy, you have the length to go to sort of like that recovering block. You see that a lot. A lot of players,
Frank has that tremendous.
Yeah.
That's where that length comes in handy because even if you do get beat, you have the ability to recover at a much higher rate than someone who doesn't have that length and can't keep up.
And now we got 2, perhaps 3 players next season who have that type of length in KP, Knox, and Frank.
I'm
Take
loving
that,
this.
Fit Data.
That's the longest wingspan in the league.
I'm back, bitches.
5'4".
We're gonna take it to the next
Wingspan.
segment. Talk more about how Knox is gonna fit in with Frank and KP. Talk more about how his nicknames are gonna go over. Talk a little bit about second round picks too. So you want to stay tuned for all that. However, if this is the individual video, make sure you click that other video because we're posting everything everywhere. Stay tuned.
What's up, guys? This is your boy TK, aka John Legend, as you guys know. I want to thank you guys for watching, and please make sure you do subscribe. And if you like what you saw from previous episodes, or if you just like our faces, make sure you hit that subscribe button below. But wait, please hit that like, comment, and share as well. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.